just realized I don't have my coffee. Well, this won't be a long video then. Good morning. I'm StellaRoseAllDay, and today we are talking about the second part of fallen idols. Yesterday I said fallen angels. I mean, it's just because I work on his documentary, War of Angels, and now I'm doing part 2, so I don't know. I just feel like Aaron was an angel. So, okay. But I tend to lean into the positive side of Aaron and like the positive vibes of Aaron and not focus on things that I felt like are being embellished upon, okay? So just as a reminder, if you want to be in the chat, you have to be a member. So that's the only way you can chat on my lives. Okay, so part 2. Wasn't happy about the lady who was talking for Jane. I feel like that's a way for you to get sued, because it's like you can have an opinion, but she was saying that Jane said this. Well, hopefully Jane really did say that, because otherwise it's defamation and slander. But I was a little leery on that part. One thing I've noticed about covering Aaron's story is that the Backstreet Boy fans, like the core of them, they're out of New York, okay? Upstate New York and all the way through Brooklyn. I mean, it just seems like that's where, like, if it was a wart, you'd have to pull it out by the stem over there, okay? Even when the producer or the people that were involved were advertising for Backstreet Boys super fans, they advertised for it in New York. And then the girls went on there and were like, no, man, they were like that glazed over Joel Osteen on a Sunday service look. No matter what happens, I am Backstreet Boy fan. I am Army. It was like Mrs. Doubtfire when it was like, I am Job. It was like, I am a Backstreet Boys fan for life. Okay. Good to know there's find the others. Hashtag find the others. Okay. Okay. We'll know where to send the gatekeeper orders. What ward that goes to. But hey, if you like it, I love it, right? It's when the intent turns ill is when it's like you got to fix your moral compass, right? Okay. So basically, I feel like, again, it was good that Shay told her side. I feel like her case, for me, is extremely, like, I want to watch that case. I want to watch that case from beginning to end. I want to watch everything that goes on there, because I like her lawyer, and she was 17, plus she was disabled, okay? And so, and it involved a Backstreet Boys tour bus. So Shay's case, I mean, do I think that, you know, it's possible? I mean, I don't know. Here, wait, let me just, when the girl from Pennsylvania was talking, Ashley, she said that she lied and said that she was 18 years old. And she went back to the scene of the crime for a second time. So it's kind of like, well, you went back for more. You know what I'm saying? Like, even subconsciously, like, you were condoning it too, because you were putting yourself in that spot. Okay? So kind of not really sure what to think with that one. Would have to have more information. We got very little information about, like, the actual facts there, but I mean, she already admitted her part. That was, it doesn't negate, okay, hold on, it doesn't say that, like, that, you know, if he SA'd her, that was right. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, I mean, was he supposed to be checking IDs at the door? I don't know. I mean, the reality is that she went back for more. Melissa Schumann was, Melissa Schumann's case to me was they entrapped her and then they blacklisted her. And that was her punishment for trying to speak her truth up against the Backstreet Boys, from what I could tell. Like they gave her the smackdown in the streets is what it appears. So, I mean, I don't know. That would be a very interesting case as far as like listening to more of the details or reviewing the case law. Maybe she could put that online to help some of us fill in the gaps. I like to go off of the legal stuff because that's what's factual. So everything else is kind of like the hearsay thing. That's why I was like, when the lady was saying what Jane thought, it's like, Jane should be speaking for herself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just wanted to dismiss that because it didn't come out of Jane's mouth. They talked about the psychological warfare. They talked about Ganval. They talked about Lauren, Nick's wife, being connected to Ganval, which that's been established. But that's not Nick. And see what Aaron's private investigator said? You're not going to find any information connecting Nick to any of it. You're not. It's not there. I mean, I guess there's always Rumpelstiltskin in the back room over there making stuff up, but no, I'm telling you from like what I reviewed and the information I have. But at the same time, if I remember correctly, that private investigator, now this is going off of my memory, the private investigator had more information about other women that were sexually assaulted by him, okay? And whether or not those girls want to stand forward or not, I don't know. It's not my business to get involved in. I mean, I did come across some of the Backstreet Boy, like boat footage and like their actions, and I posted them in Aaron's playlist on my YouTube, War of Angels. It's got like 700 and something like videos in it. I mean, Ganval admitted his part in it. I think that was classic example of what their team does, is they bring somebody in to be friendly with you, and then once that person has gained your confidence, that's when they start like messing with you. And that was like the psychological warfare. But Ganval admits his part to it, and also says that he's friends with the FBI, and so he works with, allegedly he said that he works with them all the time. I mean, if that's true, then why did they allow it to continue? And so that's like one of the things that I'm talking about into Congress is like, we have to change the internet laws. Like if Ganval is going on lives and actively saying that he's going to unalive Aaron Carter, that's a crime, and that's a serious issue, and that goes beyond just harassment. That's also stalking, because for you to take somebody out, you would have to know where they were going to be at all times. And so I feel like, you know, I hope that they don't try to blame it on Ganval, though. I kind of felt like that's what they were trying to do. And like the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, Walgreens was in it from the very beginning as well. Because remember when I had my run-in with Walgreens, February of 2023. So, and I put it in my last book. I'll do like an update in the second one. But like, okay, so they had Gwen, Aaron's former assistant, on there, and I feel like, okay? But it came across my tip hotline, my evidence hotline, that, and this could just be a rumor, okay? But one of Gwen's daughter is Aaron Carter girl B. So, I mean, if that's true, then why wouldn't you tell people that? Or like, why are you hiding that? So if that part's true and like that's a concealment, I mean, I used to date this guy and like every girl liked him because he like never really talked. He was real quiet. And like it sometimes it was kind of like creepy, but he was like good looking, so you could fill the time in with kind of like looking at him. But like it was also weird at the same time because he was like a vault, he was like Switzerland, okay? And then it was like, okay, so he was like taking information in but would never tell you anything, but like always knew the scoop type of thing. And so it was like, I don't know. I just feel like he was always like concealing, okay, by not talking. And I feel like if you're concealing that information, you know, even though it's just a rumor, what else are you concealing, okay? And again, with the mental health narrative, Melvin, okay, go daddy, daddy, teaching prompts to say that daddy's in heaven. It's like you're such an evil person and you really, really think that God's gonna bless you. I'd like to see it. So far, he hasn't, okay? So there you go with that. And, let's see, I made some notes. Okay, the only other thing I wanted to say about it is I'm going to go back and watch the documentary again. The second part about Aaron's death, I mean, there's a liability there. They have to like constantly the liability is like, you know, they don't want to get sued either. So I feel like that was kind of like they played it safe because otherwise, what are they going to say? You know what I mean? So, okay, fine with that. But if I was like, if I was able to get Nick Carter in front of a judge in a court of law, and I was one of the girls' lawyers, what I would do is I would run opposing counsel to court every single chance I got. Because you're already taking on a case of a lifetime. And everybody knows that you have to wear out the other side. No matter what they throw at you, you just have to muster up the strength and like get up and carry on and keep it moving. So run them back to court every single chance you get. It's a financial drain on them, but you know, hopefully for you it won't be. You know what I'm saying? Like I would move my office across the street to the courthouse so I could constantly have somebody running my paperwork back and forth and filing and just get them in front of that judge and get them in front of that judge and get them in front of that judge. And every little piece of information that you have that you could build evidence, enter it in front of that judge, in front of the court, show him the YouTube videos of him going blah, 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 blah. You know what he's doing? You know what I'm talking about? It's in my playlist, okay, as evidence. And I would just build as much evidence and keep notifying the jury pool, which is the general public, of the evidence, and or keep allowing your client to do those interviews. I mean, not too many, but keep it refreshed in their minds. You know what I'm saying? Nick Carter did try to do a solo tour last summer, and yeah, there were dates that were booked and showed on the calendar, but the ones that he actually performed at That's the facts, okay? You can say that you're gonna do something. Like I could say, oh, I'm gonna climb Mount Everest, okay? You'd say that, but in a million years, I would never do that. I could care less about that as an activity, okay? Cheers, kudos to the ones that do, but it's not gonna be me. I would bury them in litigation. I would cause as much work for them as you possibly can, and just continue to present a compelling case. And the way that you win lawsuits is you just stack the evidence, fact after fact after fact after fact after fact. And that's what I'm doing when I'm writing Aaron's documentary. I want to see them prove me wrong. And so that's the legal approach. If I was a lawyer, I would just be running their client to court as much as possible and not make it easy for them. So, you know, be annoying. But that's about it. And I'm going to post later on my community tab a paragraph that I wanted to discuss about Aaron being on No Jumper, but I need to show the evidence and about him rebutting the essay with the girls and him talking. So check my community tab sometime later today, and I will show my evidence with a caption, okay? Thank you, everybody. I do appreciate you supporting the channel and supporting my work. And, you know, justice for Aaron always.